Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Corey from Lion Dads. I just wanted to do a quick video and talk to you guys, but before we do that, I want you to go down, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and all that stuff. And then I want you to go click my link, www.lion-dads.com. It's down in the description. I got a free guide for starting a carnivore diet. It's got everything you need to get started. For all you dads out there that want to take your fitness back and take your life back, take your health back in 2025. So with that said, let's get into the video. So today's video, I kind of want to talk about why it seems to be so tough to diet. Like, why is it hard? Why is dieting so hard? And before we kind of get into that, and this goes for any diet you're on. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be on a carnivore diet. You can be on any kind of diet, and you kind of face some of this similar stuff, these kind of different difficulties and roadblocks and things like that. So before we get going on it, though, I want to kind of differentiate between the word hard and the word simple, because in and of itself, it is simple. Like losing weight and dieting, 99.9999% of us know what we're supposed to do. We know the basic concept of losing body fat, gaining muscle, things like that, how to do it, what we need to be doing. You can do a quick Google search and really kind of figure it out. And it's not hard. You know, it's not a complex thing, no matter what diet. Like if you're on a carnivore diet, you eat meat, you eat animal-based products. There's of course 1,000 different variations of it, whatever. But that's basically at its core what it is. You eat meat, you eat anything that comes from an animal on some variants of it. Some of them are a little more strict than others, but that's the basic concept of it. You do that, and a lot of people see great results with that. Same with if you're vegan. You don't eat anything that comes from an animal. You just eat vegetable-based, plant-based foods. And there are people out there who report they have great results with that. I've never tried it. I have no interest in trying that. That's just me. That's my preference. But, I know I hear of people all the time who say they have great results with it. You have people who live and die by the calorie apps, the calories in, calories out kind of diet, where they track the macros, if it fits your macros kind of diet. I've done that one before. Very simple concept. If you're okay with, weighing your food and logging it in an app over and over and all the time and everything like that, it works great, because that is true. You need to expend more energy than you're taking in order to lose body fat, and vice versa if you want to gain mass. So all these things work for people. It's very simple concepts, but it seems to be that a lot of people struggle no matter what they pick, or they have a hard time picking a certain way to eat, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to kind of talk about why that struggle exists, why people seem to have these issues, and why it seems to be hard for the vast majority of people. And there's a lot of different factors that go into that. One of them is just trying to find out what you want to do. A lot of people struggle. They go out. There's a ton of different information. It doesn't help that you can go online, and you can go on Twitter, X, whatever it is, Facebook groups, Reddit, whatever social media or search engine or whatever it is, your YouTube, and there's people that will pound the table for one diet. Like I'm a huge advocate of a carnivore diet. I've been on them 5 years, over 5 years now, and it's worked great for me. And then you go and find another guy's channel, and he's telling you why it's dangerous and it's awful and it's stupid and you're an idiot if you try it. And you know, I'm not a channel that like demonizes other diets. I understand that different things work for other people. Like, I'm not going to sit here and shit all over a vegan diet for whatever reason. A lot of people do. You know what I mean? If you know, like I said, it's not for me. It's not something I'm interested in. I do have thoughts about it that it may, you know, the way they think that a carnivore diet will kill you with heart disease and cancer and all this stuff. I think there's unhealthy aspects of a vegan diet. So it's not for me. I'm not willing to try it. But I'm not in here demonizing it. And, you know, when someone says they have great results in it, I'm not saying, well, you're an idiot and you're going to die anyway. You know what I mean? That's not the kind of channel I run here. The guys who want to do the calories in, calories out, fitness app tracker, weigh your food guys. Like I said, I've done it. I hate that. I'm not big on, I'm a busy person. You know what I mean? I kind of just want to stick to one plan and kind of not think about it. And it's worked for me. But if you're willing to do that and have that kind of discipline, because no matter what, and we'll get into this, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit. But, you know, that's a big thing, is your heads will spin, you know, trying to find what diet works for you. And I suggest just find one that you think fits your lifestyle and try it and see if it works. And if, you know, it works, great, stick to it. We'll go into the discipline portion of it. You know, that's a big thing that a lot of people don't have, where they really struggle, because like I said, this is simple concepts. You know, in theory you should not need a coach or something for it, but most people do, because while it is simple and you know what you need to do, a lot of people lack the discipline. A lot of people lack the motivation to see it through, to find a plan, a program, stick to it, and follow through with it day in, day out, and not deviate. You know, kind of stick to their guns and just do it. That seems to be, to me, like the biggest issue and the biggest roadblock that people have is their discipline. They'll stick to it for a few weeks. They might even stick to it for a year, but then they go back to eating like a 12-year-old again. You know, they miss their dino nuggets and Hot Pockets and, you know, getting pizza and DiGiorno, all this other crap, and the chips and, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, the discipline is a huge issue and a huge factor that causes people to struggle with dieting. Consistency, which kind of goes into discipline a little bit, but we kind of live in a society right now where we're kind of programmed, conditioned. It's been going on for a long time, where we feel like as people we need or deserve a bunch of variety, right? We need a whole bunch of variety. Oh man, I'll get bored eating the same day over and over. And that's the mindset, you know, that we've developed societally and culturally, that, you know, food is entertainment. You know, we use food as entertainment. We use it as a social type of thing. People consider food to be a hobby and things like that. And, you know, I was guilty of this for a long time. You know, I was lived and died by my taste buds. And, you know, it takes a mindset shift to think about food in a different manner. You think about it as this kind of is here to sustain my life. It's here to provide me with nutrients. It's here to provide me with energy. And that's what it's for. It's not for me. You know, I understand that is a big, huge part of our culture. I will go out with friends when they want to eat. I may not indulge. And I got a future video, my next video coming up is talking about eating out on a carnivore diet and kind of some of the risks associated with that, things like that. But, you know, we live in a society where culturally we look at food as being part of our entertainment and our culture and how we interact with other people. And, you know, that's fine. You know what I mean? That's not a thing that's ever going to go away. it kind of is what it is. You just have to find ways to navigate that. You have to give yourself a mindset shift that every time I eat, it affects me. Every time I eat, it's like putting pennies in the bank for my future. The future being, how long you're going to live and how active you're going to be able to be as you get older, your longevity and things like that. But, you're putting, every time you eat a good, healthy, nutritious meal, you're putting pennies in the bank. You're putting more time on the clock for your life. Every time you eat like absolute shit, you're kind of taking pennies out of the bank, right? You're taking time off the clock. You're affecting yourself negatively with these ingredients and these food items. I don't really consider them food, that are in, like, if you look in the label of a lot of processed food, then you can't even pronounce half the stuff. Whereas if you're eating whole foods, you're eating single ingredient nutritious foods that don't affect you negatively, that you have tried and vetted and tested on yourself, it eliminated certain things, brought them back in, see if they affect you and stuff like that. When you get your diet dialed into where you know what foods you can handle, what your body works best with, every time you eat that, you're just giving yourself longevity. You're in it for the long haul. You're going to live a great, long, fulfilling life. Hopefully, accidents notwithstanding, things like that, whatever. But, if you stick to a whole food, single ingredient kind of a diet, whether that's a carnivore diet or a whole food carnivore and fruit and vegetables that you can tolerate, things like that, and you eliminate all the processed crap, you're going to ensure, a long, healthy life. But people just aren't consistent or disciplined enough to do it. You know what I mean? They just fall back into bad habits and the crazy, non-pronounceable, have to do a Google search to find out what the hell it even is, ingredients that are in the box of the processed foods in the middle of your grocery store item, or the stuff you're being served in a restaurant. That's the stuff that adds up in the other direction. So that's another thing to think about that makes your diet so tough. Your discipline, your consistency, something to think about. Another thing that affects a lot of people, it can be a lonely path. When you pick a diet and you're sticking with it and everything like that, sometimes, most of the time, I'd even say, you're on this journey by yourself. It's not fair to demand that everybody you live with adheres to your diet with you. If you have that kind of family and that kind of support system, that's great. I know in my case, my family kind of dove into it with me when I started showing the results. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, me, my wife, 3 kids, and I have a 3-year-old daughter. When I make food, she eats the way I eat. When my wife makes food for herself and feeds the girl when I'm busy doing stuff and things like that, she eats what my wife eats. My wife will go on and off the way I eat day by day, really, but, depending on, once again, on if I'm making food or not. And, I don't demand that she does that. I have one person other than me and my family who, has stuck to his guns and, gone through this journey with me. He doesn't even live with me anymore. He's away at college now. So it's a lonely path. I'm the only person in my house who consistently, daily, has an animal-based diet. And everybody else kind of, they kind of go through it and do it now and then, and, it kind of falls to the wayside. So I'm on my own with this. There's days where my wife will make herself something and I'm over here making myself something else. Same with friends. I don't have many friends that adhere to this diet. A lot of them try it and it's not for them. They need to have variety, things like that. So they kind of get, they try it, they saw my results, because that's really all you can do is just show people your results. I went from being, creeping up close to 300 pounds and getting down, now I'm almost under 200 pounds. So, you show people the results, they want to, oh, how'd you do that? I want to do that. They try it for a while. It's like, I can't do this. It's insane. It's too limiting, and it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of mindset change. Some people just can't do it. Some people just can't do it, or they don't want to. They want to eat food, and I don't judge you for that. That's fine. You know what I mean? Good luck, but it is what it is, and that it makes it difficult. Having to do this by yourself is difficult, but if it works, and you're showing yourself results every day, and you kind of keep that in mind, and the first thing I do every day is I tell myself, like, today's not a day you're going to deviate. And I tell myself that every day. I don't care what situation arises. You know what works. You have goals in life. What's more important, a quick hit of dopamine, or, being alive and kicking ass when you're 90-something years old? So that's just kind of the way I look at it, and that keeps me going. And it took me time to develop that. I'm not going to say I never slipped up once I started this. No, it was a long journey to get here, and there's still temptation. It's just like, I don't want to compare it to like being an addict or something like that. Maybe it kind of is, but when it comes to sugar and these kind of ingredients and things, but it's not easy every day to do it day in and day out, and I can appreciate that, but it's having that discipline to kind of be able to forge ahead and do it alone. As men, we do a lot of things alone, and you're not sitting here complaining and asking for, people's empathy and things like that. If you get it from them, that's fine and dandy. But my view as me as a man, I don't need you to sign off on what I'm doing. I don't need you to sit there and cheer me on. That's not the kind of guy I am. And I'm able to do it alone, and I'm able to have great results, and I'm at peace with that. Another factor, one of the last ones I'll probably get into, is the whole crabs in a bucket thing. There will be days when you're dieting, no matter what kind of diet you're on, where it seems like everybody's like trying to get you to quit or trying to get you to fail at it. It's like, I don't know if it's a subconscious thing or it's just that people don't understand, and that's the way we take it a little bit, but you'll have days that feel like that. It's like, God dang, man, like, is everybody really trying to get me to not do this? Like, you see me getting results, and like when I see people getting results, no matter what they're doing, if it's working for them, even if it's not something I would do for myself, like, I'm cheering you on, man. I want to see you all win. I want to see everybody. I don't want to walk out in the world with my daughter and have her looking around just seeing nothing but obese people everywhere, because it sets a bad example. You know what I mean? Even if they're strangers walking around, it's just become a society where we accept this as what it is, and it's tried to even psyop ourselves into believing it's healthy and things like that, and it's not. And so I want to see everybody having these victories and losing weight and getting in shape. I want a healthy, happy society, because I think our physical health is tied to our mental health. And, I don't want to see a bunch of unhealthy, depressed people walking around who, are dragging everybody else down or committing crazy acts or things like that. You know what I mean? I'd rather see everybody eating right and having a well-balanced, healthy life. And it's not realistic to expect that for everybody. It's, from the beginning of time, there have been people having different unhealthy lifestyles and things like that. It goes, back ancestrally through the ages. But, I'd rather see people winning. But there are people out there who seem like they're working against you when you're on this diet, whether that's actually true or not. It just sometimes seems that way. I'll give you an example. Tomorrow, I have to go out and eat and with other people. It's an event. I can't, it's a family type obligation thing that I can't get out of. They're going to a Japanese steakhouse, hibachi type deal. Not a lot on the menu that I'm able to eat, and like I said, I'll give you a little sneak preview of the video I'm about to do. When it comes to eating out, you're really like every time you go out, you're accepting the risk that that food is not going to be prepared in adherence to your diet. Something's going to sneak its way in there. And I draw a hard line on like soybean oils, cooking oils and things like that. Like I'm not interested in ever putting those substances in my body again. A piece of whole fruit gets in my diet, I don't freak out about it. You know what I mean? If it's there, it's there. It causes some scratchiness in my throat and things like that, but I'll eat a piece of fruit if I have to. I'll eat a whole vegetable if I have to. It just doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? You're not going to die. Let's be realistic here. I just prefer not to eat that way. It just makes my life easier to adhere to an animal-based diet. But when it comes to like processed ingredients, things that I'm not interested in eating, things I can't pronounce, things that there's studies out there that are proven to be harmful to you, and that's what they cook with in restaurants, and that's what my whole next video is going to be about. Spoiler alert for that. But I'm going to go out tomorrow, and of course they invited us out to a hibachi type deal, and I'm probably going to fast through that meal. I will be there. I will be present. I will be engaged in conversations. I'll be happy to see everybody. I'm just going to say I'm not really hungry. I'll probably eat a steak or something before I go. I'll probably load up on some eggs and things like that to make sure that I'm not hungry when I get there. And, I've already said this. I'm going to go. I'm going to be friendly. I'm going to be happy to be there. I'll be nice to everybody. I'll be a joy to be around. But I may not eat, and that is going to piss everybody off. People who know how I eat, who know what I stand for, who know the lines in the sand that I draw on what goes into my body, invited me to this, and that's fine. Thank you. I'm grateful to be there. Probably not going to eat. They're probably going to be pissed at me. They're probably going to talk shit about me behind my back about it, because it happens all the time. And it's that crabs in a bucket mentality where people they're not winning. You know what I mean? So they don't, I'm not bagging on anybody or anything like that, but it's just like, my results have spoken for themselves with everybody who knows me and knows what I came from and knows what I got here with. But still, when I say this thing worked and I'm sticking to it and I'm not going to eat, I'm a bad guy. And you kind of will see that happen. And it used to bother me, used to affect me. I used to cave, even as recent as a couple years ago. I was still caving on it. Like, okay, this one time I'll go out there and I will eat substances that I literally think are, a step below poison or whatever. And, I'd feel like shit the next day and whatever, but at least I made other people happy. And I have moved beyond a point in the last couple of years where I give a crap. I really don't. What my goals are, what I stand for, and I'm going to do me, and you can be pissed or you cannot. Don't care. So that's basically it. And then the other thing is, you go online, you ask questions, things like that, and you get people out of left field telling you you're wrong, or that's a stupid question, or this is going to kill. It's very tribal, the diet thing. It's very, gets cult-like. I've done videos on that in the past here pretty recently, where people think, their way is the only way that works, and everybody else who doesn't eat their way is automatically a bad guy. Like I've told you in here today, that's not what I'm about, but it's the way it is out there. And a lot of you get affected and get discouraged by that. And there's other things that play into it. There's genetic stuff and everything like that. There's ways that people get discouraged. We have different body types. I put on fat really easy. I put on muscle really easy. I'm a bigger framed person. I just kind of add weight, whatever kind that is, depending on how I'm eating. I add it fairly easy, have a tougher time losing it. Some of you are hard gainers, and you can't gain a pound to save your life, and these are different things you have to navigate, and you have to learn about yourself, and you have to learn what works. You have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent. You have to stand on your laurels, and you have to nut up basically and tell the world, this is how I'm doing it. This is the way I want to do it. And I'm gonna adhere to it, hell or high water. And the first person in the world you need to tell that to daily, with daily affirmation, is yourself. So that's basically what I'm going to leave you with. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. Go get your free guide on starting your carnivore diet if you are interested. I'm always available for coaching. I have my Calendly link and everything like that. So hit me up or enjoy your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.